Okay, there we go. Morning, welcome. So it's been a while. I just thought I'd do another little mountain news. There's been quite a lot of stuff, and it's accumulated over quite a long period of time. And so what we'll do is we're going to just start and go through it. I've kind of thrown it into a bit of an order, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sorry, I've got these silly headphones on. It's so I can play the video and you won't hear it through the mic. So yeah, the first bit is, let's just go back to the beginning. This is from Snowdon National Park. It's worth the watch.
Hello. Are you okay? Have you got experience mountaineering?
None at all.
Okay, do you know where you're going today?
The Llanberis path.
This is the pick track going up from Penna Pass. Do you know how long it's going to take you?
Roughly 2 hours.
It'll take you about 6 hours there and down again. Do you know what grade path it is?
No idea.
Okay, all the paths with are hard grade paths.
It's really interesting. You know, it seems like a comedy sketch, and you know, it's pretty deadpan, but this is the reality of people on Snowdon. I've not been on the rescue team for over 10 years now, and I can remember rescuing people from the ridge line of Cribgoch. They were in trainers and jeans. They were barely dressed for a day out in the summer, let alone in winter, and that's what they're dealing with.
Right, I'll make my research and come back another time.
Great.
I mean, it's all well and good them saying, yeah, come back, I'll come back next time. I don't think anybody that has paid the money, it's the sunken cost fallacy, isn't it? It's like they've paid the money to get here, they've paid for accommodation, they're definitely going to walk up Snowdon. They forget that Eryri National Park, or Ywydfa, in Eryri National Park, there are simply hundreds of mountains, many of which would be much better for them and their family than Snowdon, and they might enjoy it. Snowdon's a long slog for not much reward.
Yourself before going up, have you got the right skills and knowledge for the walk? Do your research before going up, and remember, all the paths up with that are hard grade paths.
Yeah, so this is what Adventure Smart there and Eryri National Park, they're trying to kind of put this message out that, you know, the mountains need to be respected. You know, this was this week, somebody's died. There was, I don't know whether it's later on, but there has been some incidents on Tryfan that, you know, the rescue teams on Snowdon, despite being voluntary, are probably, you know, they get 300 to 400 call outs a year. I think now that was like 250, which was groundbreaking when I was there. And it just keeps going up, and they're a voluntary team, and it's basically getting onto they are deployed more than like the what do they call them, the firemen that aren't full-time, the retained firefighters in Llanberis, who get paid for their job. This, I'm just gonna stop it, rewind it to the beginning. I've deliberately tried to cut out who this is, because this is almost what they're trying to combat against. And I've got a couple of videos from, I think, the same person. And I don't have an issue with how anybody goes into the mountains, how they live their life, blah, 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 you know. But for me, this is the antithesis of what I do at work. On hard scrambles, I have my clients on a rope. Scrambling is probably the number one area in which people fail the qualification that I have. It is hard to master rope work that is both safe and quick. And so we often have a shortened rope, but these guys kind of attack the mountain with this sort of bravado that just, it's, well, let's just see. I'll play this. Look at this sketchy knee move here. That guy's sketching at the top.
Yeah, you'll pass the worst bit.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
I've got it on video, mate. You can wank over it later.
Oh, yes.
I reckon I'm going to crack 5 off to it.
Right.
Even with a softie, I'll try. I really have got to mute these videos.
And so, yeah, it's not just the kind of the boyish, it's not just the sort of bro attitude of rah, death, you know, almost a Victorian, you know, to hell with the consequences. And I think that's interesting. There's another video coming up where the American Alpine Club are kind of addressing a similar issue they're having of people just going up and having accidents. You know, scrambling is not scrambling, it is free soloing. And you know, one hole breaks off, one foot slip can cost you your life. But yeah, this is another clip. Hang on. From the same guy. Hopefully you did see who that was. In fact, let's move it that way. There we go.
On the left.
Yeah, there's like a bit of a groove. I think you might come round to it there, I don't know. God, it looks like it's going to be a bit tricky to climb, that does, you know.
Mate, after what we've done now, I don't think so.
Yeah.
A bit like the pinnacle on Bristly, innit?
Yeah, so again, I just find them kind of like being a bit laissez-faire and having a bit of bravado with like risk management is just not the, you know, people, if I went out soloing, I would probably, you know, I could do all of these solo, but I am very much aware that I'm going out solo. I don't do it like that when I'm at work. I do this. And this video that we've got here is from the American Alpine Club, and they're looking at this thing called the First Flat Iron. Now we moved together up the entire thing, me and Cleon, back years ago on a trip round America. And this route is literally backs onto Boulder City. I think it's Boulder. And there's a massive university campus there. And like, you know, literally 500 meters away from the base of this route is like Delta Kappa Lambda, you know, one of these like frat houses. So, you know, you've got all these frat boys and they're having regular deaths here. And so this is their response to it. And I just think it's interesting to compare this to the, you know, you have a couple of people from the national park passing their message.
Make no mistake, you see these people scrambling, they look all casual. This is free soloing. Every year we publish multiple free solo accidents. These are usually fatal and they usually take place on moderate, well-traveled routes. So in recent years, the Flatirons have seen 3 fatal accidents from free soloing. If you do a search in the database back to the 50s, you'll find 33 accidents, 11 of which were fatalities. Most of these were due to free soloing. Here we are at the base of the second Flatiron. This is like one of the most popular free solo routes in this area. We're literally like 10 feet off the trail, and this trail is one of the most popular hiking trails on the Front Range. So what we have when you have proximity of routes like this to a major urban area, you have 1, a lot of climbers, and 2, it's this crowd effect where everyone assumes, because there's a lot of people scrambling around on these rocks, that somehow there are no consequences. Gravel, dirt, and debris on your holds often play a role in these accidents. So does loose rock, and so does wet rock. in climbing it all.
I guess it comes into one of those human factors. If you've seen one of my other like little chats, one of the things of like heuristics, human factors, is if you see somebody doing something, if you see lots of people doing something, then you're like, well, how hard can it be? Because nobody outwardly kind of goes, oh, I'm doing this route, I have this experience. You just see them doing it, you don't know the experiences they have. So yeah,
Always pays to be kind of relaxed, but it does not pay to be oblivious to the consequences of a fall.
and so it's just loading back in.
So most of us have fallen, had the rope wrap around our leg, we flip upside down and walk away with nothing worse than maybe a rope burn or something like that.
Yeah, so this is just another one from this guy at the Alpine, American Alpine Club. Really good. I can remember being in South America, and I had taught people about it should be rock, rope, you. If it goes rock, you, rope, and you fall off, then there's a chance you'll get flipped upside down. And I remember one of my students, we're in a really remote area. We're like at least 2.5 hours from the nearest like hospital by road. I don't know whether there's a helicopter where we were in Kauai, but he flipped upside down. He was temporarily unconscious. When we took his helmet off, he'd actually drawn blood under where the helmet, a little bit of the tape had hit him in the head. We sat down, and I was very concerned that he might have a brain, concussion. So he just sat out the rest of the day, felt fine. We just had to monitor him. But this is, if he didn't have a helmet on, he probably would have broken his skull. I think, his helmet was, just from a simple flip upside down on like a 510. It was vertical. Yeah, it was just happened to be bad. But yeah, this is just interesting.
There's one incident from 2020 in which a climber who was not wearing a helmet caught the rope behind their leg, flipped upside down, hit the back of their head, and suffered a fairly serious head injury. Committed sport climbers in general are aware of the position of the rope in.
So with that in mind, like one of the people I used to work with, he was out teaching his child how to ski. He's a very experienced skier, and he fell over backwards and knocked the back of his head, and he's had locked-in syndrome. And this is just wearing a helmet is something that I just take for granted now. I've got another friend who's got an acquired brain injury, and he was wearing a helmet. He wouldn't be here. Definitely would not be here if he didn't have a helmet on. He's very lucky to still be here. But yeah, it's
relation to their legs. The most they're going to get is maybe a bad rope burn. More novice climbers might not be aware of the position of their feet versus the rope, and the route that they are going to be on will tend to be lower angle and tend to have more features to hit when they take a fall. And always wear a helmet, because if you flip upside down and hit the back of your head, the helmet might save your life.
Yeah, good one. So what have we got next? Oh yeah, this is just hang on. Okay, so what you can't see here is I think there must be a lake up here that was held back by like what was effectively a glacial dam, and at some point that has broken through, and this has just surged, threatening to take out the approach path. So they ended up having to rescue like 60 climbers and hikers from the area, and it's still closed. And this is another direct thing about global warming. I think climbers like to see themselves as quite environmentally friendly, but we fly all over the world, we drive everywhere. I saw a photo the other day of a boulder problem. In the background was this like dead tree. I'm pretty sure I haven't managed to find it yet, that when I went there just after the guy did the first ascent like years and years ago, it was a full tree. This thing is totally off the beaten track. Nobody's going to accidentally go there because you just wouldn't. It's just the only people that go there are probably boulderers who know where it is, and how the first essentialists found it, I don't know. But yeah. Oh yeah, this is just more of that bugaboo thing. Okay, this is like a really it might be tragic, it might not. So this Natalia Nagavitasiana was trying something and had broke her leg. I think this is the same story. This is from a few days later. Yeah, so this is the same woman. Now, before people judge, I do believe that she was had stopped to help somebody else, and when she was helping that person, she fell and broke her leg, and so now she's stuck up here with a broken leg herself. They've tried to a rescue attempt. One of the guys attempting the rescue has died. They tried a helicopter, and I think they crashed the helicopter, and so their final mission was called off, and that was on the 24th of August. So whether they're still going, ultimate tragedy. There is again, this is Lad Bible have, always trying to things. They've got this video of her where she basically, after something, she talks about, I'm happy to die in the mountains. It's just tragic. Yeah, another tragic one. American CEO dies in a wingsuit accident. It's like, yeah, high probability. I think they're a little bit clickbaity, these people. This is another interesting article. It's one, this guy who has been accused of faking summits. So he's one of the few mountaineers to have done the 14 peaks over 8,000 meters. He's Italian. Reinhold Messner, who was one of the first people to do it, was Italian, and there's just questions about the legitimacy of his records and stuff like that at the moment. So there's another one for you. Yeah, so this is another little controversial one. It depends on your thing. So this month, Denny Arnold, Alex Schubert, and Simon, whatever his name, Gilt, have climbed this amazing looking new route in Peru's. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. They've described it as going to the East Peak because they didn't go to the summit. They have certainly, if you look at this topo here, they've stopped here and not here. Now, there's like, people are saying, oh, they haven't climbed the whole thing, but there are quite a few alpine routes that go you don't go to the summit. They're kind of like more, I know Alex, I know Danny are kind of very rock climbing, big wall orientated. So for them, the challenge is the wall. I know that when I went to Alaska, we did a buttress that ended on like a big shoulder, and then we could have carried along and, walked ridges to the top, but we were there to kind of do big walls and not alpine stuff. And so, the topo shows where we go. It claims to where we goes. They've not claimed to have done the summit. I think one of the interesting things here is that, from what I remember, I think I worked with a guy called Ben last couple of years when I was in Antarctica, and this place is renowned for these big snow mushrooms that are really hard to get up and down and protect because it's just deep, kind of not really very well consolidated snow where there's massive like cornices. It's, he described it to me as, it just sounded horrific. So yeah, well done. But this one, I'm just gonna go back to the beginning. So the reason I put this in, I saw this, I don't know whether it's a new or old video, but this is of James Pearson climbing this. What I mean, I just love the aesthetic of this. It's like obviously a quarried, or the rock has been broken, because you can see these drill holes. But aesthetically, it just looks like a beautiful climb. So let's just have a look. Just wild pinches and crimps. Look at that. I mean, imagine if you went up that erect. I mean, this looks like way harder than the erect. But yeah, I just put that in because I love the aesthetics of it. I don't know whether it's a new route by James, but it's good anyway. Oh yeah, we've already done that one. Ah yeah, so this is another one. This is a new film that's coming out. Let's stop it. It's called Her Story, or Girl Climber, sorry. It's going to be IMAX. I think it was. I don't know who shot it. It might be another Jimmy. He did Free Solo. But yeah, this is this thing. Let's put it on. One to come out for.
When you look at El Cap, it looks impossible.
I give her 20% chance of sending, honestly. It's so hard.
Most likely fail.
It's outrageous. She just hasn't paid her dues.
World-class climber Emily Harrington.
Emily Harrington.
5-time national champion.
Growing up, I desperately wanted to prove girls were not inferior. When I found climbing, this switch went off.
We're at El Capitan.
To call yourself a successful climber, you've got to be up on El Cap. It's a 3,000-foot granite face. My goal is to free climb El Cap in under 24 hours. I chose the Golden Gate route. It's only been free climbed in a day by 3 people. It's very much a boys' club.
I know the routes really well. I've worked on them a long time. I want to help Emily achieve this big dream of hers.
3:30 in the morning.
Em is going to lead us to the summit of the mighty El Capitan.
Nice, Em. You're crushing.
Are you okay,
Emily, you okay?
I've been climbing for 22 years, and I'm not willing to give it up. All of these people that I've looked up to and idolized, it's giving me so much. Adrian and I have discussed starting a family, but before taking that step, I need to go back. I don't want to take 8 years to free climb El Cap in a day. Then I'll be 40, and then it might be too late.
Try and stop me.
This is no longer just to prove myself, it's to gain that confidence in myself.
You have to try things you're afraid of to get to know yourself.
It doesn't get much bigger. It doesn't get much more difficult in El Cap. I'm excited for what's next.
I don't know about you, but that just sounds like an incredible storyline. You know, ups, downs, setbacks. Just cannot wait to see that. Red Bull Studio there, not Jimmy Chin. It might have been Jimmy Chin filmed it. Red Bull sponsored it. Yeah, it just... for me, like, I really enjoyed Free Solo. I think it was probably a film about one of the most incredible climbing feats ever accomplished. One of the most, certainly the most mind-bending. However, at the same time, Dawn Wall came out, and I actually prefer Dawn Wall as a film because of the narrative of it, you know, the story behind it. And so I'm just hoping that that girl, her climb, combines the both, because it's got, yeah, just seems like it's going to be amazing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. No IMAX cinemas around here, so I've got a big TV. Oh yeah, and this one is just a little thing. This was about, you know, people adding bolts to routes ethically. He says, can't hear that. Never mind. Yeah, so he asked first ascensionists if he can add bolts to their routes, and they say yes, so we just add them. And I just think it's a cautionary tale of, you know, although people don't, I don't believe people own routes. I think, you know, if you're a first ascensionist, that's great, but there's ethics in areas you have to, you know, like if you went into the Tuolumne Meadows and started adding routes to some of their run out bolted routes, I think, you know, it was totally changed the game of those routes. Anyway, this last one, I saw this thing on Backpacker about Garmin InReach SOS. It's like a similar to their GPSs, but built in is like an Iridium messenger that allows you to send text and simple pictures, I think, via a geostationary orbit. They're very slow. It takes about 2 seconds for the message to go to the satellite and back. They're going to become more obsolete because with the latest iPhone, in an emergency, you can connect to Starlink, Trump's lower orbiting thing. And, you know, I played Call of Duty with a ping time of 140 milliseconds between me and the server when I was like in Antarctica on the actual continent. So, you know, but what they've done is, this is the data. So you can see these are the incidents that have been triggered. Some super remote, some not so. And then the breakdown is really interesting. You know, most people who use Garmin for things are hiking, backpacking. You've got some people who are driving, so they're in a remote area, they get puncture or breakdown, or motorcycling. Then climbing, mountaineering, camping. Obviously, there's a lot of remote hunting, boating, snowboarding, all of this in other places other than the UK. So, you know, in the UK, we are quite lucky with how good the phone network is. But again, they do save people's lives. You do it, and you can actually, because you can then message, you can tell people what the exact thing is, and you can see the responses they kind of sent out. So most people, you know, especially when I was traveling alone in South America, and I was also doing stuff where I was going away trying to solo some historic routes. I put some on. There's some, it's called, I think, Round the World in 40 Climbs. You can see me going, doing some stupid soloing stuff. And I had one then just in case I got stuck, and I could actually send a message at any point. So they're just an option. But yeah, it's just interesting to see how, you know, these things are being used. So that is quite a big roundup today. Hopefully there was some stuff in there for people who found it interesting. You know, it's just yeah, I just thought I'll do this again. I hadn't done one for a long time. I didn't get bored. I just kind of like started collecting stuff, and there wasn't so much stuff one week, and then so I gave it a week, and then I forgot about it, and then I ended up with quite a lot of stuff. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed that. I'm definitely going to try and do some more of these. Thanks if you've watched, and hopefully you've not run out of needles to stick in your eyes and you'll come back again. Many thanks.